motivated me to think about Beat Street is that Beat Street is a very important movie because it grabbed so many cultural elements of hip hop. It grabbed the art element, it grabbed the dancing element, and it also grabbed the rap element, all of which have sort of like splintered off into major industries. And I would say the art element, because a lot of people say, well, graffiti didn't really take off, but yes, it did with the emergence during that time of artists like Keith Haring and Jean-Michel Basquiat. They came up in that era, and they were contemporaries to the movie Beat Street. You had other movies like Breakin, with sort of like a West Coast element, and then you had Rappin, which was filmed in Pittsburgh. It was really horrible. I don't think it did anything for rap music other than the fact that it was called Rappin'. And then you had Wildstar. Wildstar was mostly a graffiti movie,
yes,
but it had the other themes as well. I like Wildstar, but Wildstar was gritty and even sometimes actually scary. When he did that hell up, they held those people up with Blondie and those type of people.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
These are all these different movies that was trying to capture what was the cultural movement at the time.
At that time.
Music, and it was called hip hop. So I think the movies did a good job. When Ray was on and she talked about it, I could see that Ray was coming in from a whole nother perspective. She was an actress. Mm-hmm. She was not accomplished at the time, but she was coming up. But she sort of stumbled into something that was great.
Right.
Beat Street was so important of a movie because it tackled those three elements of hip hop, but it did it very successfully. And even when Ramo, the artist, his whole modus operandi was to go out and paint cars. And like he said in one of his quotes in the movie, I'll make those trains beautiful, you know? So that was that's definitely how an artist thinks. That's definitely how a pure artist thinks. And I believe they did an excellent job of capturing that. The break dancing scenes is probably the best break dancing scenes in cinematic history.
Yeah,
with that battle at the Roxy.
And
with the Beat Street crew and
Rocksteady crew.
And Rocksteady crew. That was an awesome scene. It wasn't too long. It wasn't overdone. It was well choreographed. It was well put together.
Organic. It was
organic.
You could tell that they weren't acting, that, they put, when I go back, like I just recently watched it, when I go back and look at it again, I can tell that their emotions are still in battling. Like, you could see that was real emotion in them, and they was getting some of them was getting a little salty, and it got real for a minute.
One thing too that the movie captured as well is that when Lee and his buddies got arrested, that at the time, you had the gang warring going on, but people were sort of getting out of gang warring. They were doing battle dances then. And then it came into the rap battles and those type of things. And then there was a little bit of a graffiti battle with Spit. It wasn't really a battle, but it was more of a hater movement. But still, but it was like those battles have become legendary in rap music, like with Nas and Jay-Z. Maybe so not the rap or the dance battles have survived, but that sort of competitiveness, that camaraderie within the hip hop community, it still exists to this day. So back in 1984, in the summer of 1984, when the movie came out, I was 15 years old, and I think I might have saw that movie, I'm not exaggerating, maybe 50, 60 times that summer.
Yeah.
And it was me getting on the L and going downtown and sitting in that movie theater and watching the same movie over and over again, where I almost knew the script. And it really inspired me with my art. It helped me develop my art more. And of course, as you know, I've done some great art pieces
in Philadelphia, all around Philly.
Yeah, as a result of that movie.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a movie that people need to see. I think that movie is something, if somebody's involved in hip hop with any respect, whether it be rapping or even if they're a street artist like they have now, they have the Banksys now. I think that movie's an important movie to watch because it gives you the birth of that movement, was right there in the Bronx of New York. where all of those elements of hip hop,
Started.
rap music,
Mm-hmm.
breakdancing, and graffiti all emerged, and sort of like it was just like it was the dynamism in the Bronx in 1984 and 82 was just off the charts. So that movie captured that. So
It's a great time.
to me, I think they sort of fell into that. I don't think they realized what they were doing at the time.
Absolutely not.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and it was good to see Ray as a part of that. I would like to have seen Robert Taylor's commentary on it and some of the other people. But, hey, those guys to me are legends. And even though they may not have gone on to do, works like Ray, like The Color Purple, I still think those guys have done some great and amazing things.
And you know that a lot of them are still breaking today. They still meet up and they still break dance till today. And these guys are like older than us. I mean, at the time, if you were 15, I was 10. And, we would sit and watch it on our VCR and play it back and watch it a million times. And those guys are still doing some of those same moves today, 55 years old.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that a lot of people, this is a sort of an undercurrent that people don't see in the movie Beat Street. Like I said, was the emergence of graffiti artists turned mainstream artists like Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring. And last year, Basquiat painting sold for over $100 million.
Wow.
And that's out
graffiti.
of that era. Yeah. That was graffiti. I mean, he was Samo at the time, and he would do these more of, these ubiquitous tags called Samo, and they would have these like, different meanings. But yeah, I mean, that's all out of that era. I'm not saying that Samo was motivated by Beat Street, but it's all part of that era where, you come out of that, all the heroes that come out of that era.
Now, what would you say was the best element of it for you? Because you are an artist yourself. Do you think that the art part mostly influenced you, or because you did have like a little breaking in the yard, in the backyard, you put your little, what was the cardboard? And
the art did influence me profoundly, yes. But I would have to say the rap music in it, because the rap music to this day survives. There's so many rappers from, from Jay-Z to, and they've become billionaires. They've actually monetized that cultural movement into $1 billion for themselves. To me, that's freaking awesome. I mean, to me, that's just, when I hear about what Dr. Dre have done, what Jay-Z have done, what Puffy has done, how they've actually monetized those type of cultural movements into like $1 billion industries, blows my mind. And it all came from, it all came from back then when people just wanted to be different and just create something new. On the art side, same thing with the likes of Jean-Michel and Keith Haring. Their arts are in the millions and millions of dollars range. So it was a birthplace of some great value back then. As for the dancing, I can't say the dancing has been successful in the art and the rap has been, but there's phenomenal break dancers in Japan that would do some things that would blow your mind. So Absolutely. The break dancing has never died either. I would like to see the break dancing break through on a monetary side and with industry like that, art being appreciated on that level.
Definitely. And it's just, when you mentioned the rappers, just Melly Mel and African Bambaataa, and those guys paved the way for these guys to be, conglomerates and multi-billionaires and millionaires.
Yep. Absolutely.
And so, and that was back when they said rap wasn't even a music. They were just saying rap wasn't even music. It couldn't win a Grammy. People didn't recognize it. It was literally just the street. So that's what makes it, it's like the underdog. It really makes, rap has really been an underdog and has really just profoundly come through.
Right. So, so if you put it all together, you could put Breakin together with Wildstar and those type of movies. But at the end of the day, Beat Street sort of was able to capture all three. You have to be at the right place at the right time.
Yes.
It was also when the hood was almost pure in a sense, because sadly, right after that was the crack era, and the hood became a whole different thing. And it became a thing that evolved into Straight Outta Compton, you know, more of like a gangster thing. But you know, that's telling the story as well.
Right.
But when it was Beat Street, when it was that era, that 1984, it was pure. It was young. It was fresh. Wonderful. It was dope. It was all those different things. And now look at Basquiat now. Look at Keith Haring now. Look at the rap industry now. It's just like, look at the art world now. All those great influences.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time today, my brother. And you look like you're having a time in your life out there.
Well, I'm at the beach. You know, I'm at the beach. That's my thing. That's where I work. That's where I do my business. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to partake in this Beach Street after party.
It's all your brainchild.
Right, and it was just an important movie. If you haven't watched Beach Street, go and watch it. Watch Black People Watch. Phenomenal show. You're changing the game with movie critiques and reviews. I love it. Keep at it, little sister.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your time there. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.